Means we're live, a casual take with your boy Stephen Pepper, here to give a take off my chest. So, any NFL franchise can have a stretch of success. They just need good players. But if you want to be relevant for decades, that's dictated by who you got working upstairs. And so I'm watching last night's game, the Green Bay Packers absolutely shutting out the New Orleans Saints. And I found it fascinating how these two teams couldn't be on more different paths when for most of my life, it felt like they were on the same one. I mean, we're talking about two teams had a decade and a half run of success on the backs, even winning a Super Bowl, of these two all-time great quarterbacks in Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers. But when they left roughly around the same time, you got one team in the Packers that is now going to back-to-back playoffs and another team in the Saints that's just going nowhere fast. Well, why is that? This is because the smart organizations in this league always have a plan. They just do. They know how to pivot into the next era. The Packers knew how to move off Aaron Rodgers with developing Jordan Love. They draft Love at a Utah State, sit him for a couple years behind Rodgers. When Rodgers was done, bring in Love. Boom. Looks like one of the best quarterbacks in the NFC. Whereas the Saints, they haven't been able to find their footing post Drew Brees. I mean, what has it been, 5 years? Who is his successor? Not Jameis Winston, not Trevor Siemian, not Derek Carr, not Spencer Rattler. Hell, even Taysom Hill's taking snaps, and he's tight end. I mean, especially after Sean Payton retired, that should have been like, hey, let's go rebuild. But they've been too stubborn, and they keep making all these expensive transactions, thinking they have a shot to win their division, and they keep kicking this money down the road where sooner or later they're going to meet that dead cap, and they're going to be in a dark place for a long time. Well, that's what the not-so-well-run organizations do. So this is why, if you get an NFL history book during the holidays, you're going to see the Packers hosting multiple Lombardis throughout different decades. And you won't see a single mention of the Saints without Drew Brees, because the well-run organizations can stay relevant no matter who comes and goes. They're not beholden to this all-time great player to make them successful. That's why the Steelers, the Ravens, hell, even the Cowboys, who we all hit on Jerry Jones, there's a reason why those teams had a lot of success in your grandpas, your dads, in our generation, because they don't need this all-time great quarterback to have only success. They can win with multiple different quarterbacks and players, no matter the era, no matter the salary cap. They're just that well run. So this is where I think you have to give credit to the Packers, their front office. GM Brian Gutekunst, their president and CEO, was honored during halftime last night, and they don't even have an owner, no one who's meddling in. They just have a great fan base who understands, hey, we're going to get this quarterback and we're going to develop him. They did that 3 times now. To go from Brett Favre, then Aaron Rodgers, to Jordan Love, just having a plan for 3 straight quarterbacks, that is insane. That shit, I've never seen that before. That's just credit to how well run they are. They just always have a plan. And I can't wait for when Jordan Love retires in the next 10 to 15 years. Who's next? They probably already have someone looking at right now. Whereas the Saints, Mickey Loomis, their GM, he's been there since I think I was born. And can you, outside of landing Drew Brees and Sean Payton, could you name his significant hire? You can't. He doesn't have a signature move. I don't think he's made a playoff before Drew Brees and after Drew Brees. And of course, their ownership group also owns the Pelicans. Put 2 and 2 together. They're some of the 2 worst teams in their respective leagues. I mean, this stuff just matters. So when I'm watching last night's game, the Packers shutting out the Saints, the first shutout of the entire season. We had 2 weeks left until this thing's over with. Shutting out the Saints to clinch their second straight playoff berth post Aaron Rodgers. They also, by the way, have the most playoff appearances ever now against a Saints team that throughout most of my life was right there with them as a top dog in the NFC with an all-time great quarterback who over the last couple of years have nowhere to go. They have no idea. They're straight up clueless. And that's why if you have a smart organization, you're just not beholden to an all-time great player. You can have decades worth of success and relevance no matter who's in the building. It just matters who you got upstairs. But I appreciate everyone for tuning into this episode of A Casual Take. Follow my social medias to stay updated on all things related to the show. Till next time, see ya.